Hello, so it's time to talk about house numbers in OpenStreetMap, because if we look at the map here, you can see there's a lot of house numbers in Durham, things like this, which is helpful, especially where the numbers are confusing on a street, and particularly as companies like Amazon, their delivery drivers are routed using OpenStreetMap to find houses and addresses and routes to them. You can kind of see in Durham where I've lived, what areas over the last 13 years, because there's a lot of house numbers done. But as you can see, when I did that video about the Harry Potter Wizards Unite app that shows buildings, you obviously see there's big gaps where I know there's houses. It's obvious there's going to be houses on these roads, and it's missing. And that's become another situation for me. I'm over in Belmont now, but this December, a lot of areas in Durham have done decorated their windows and made trails. So people, mainly the churches, have made maps of where you can find kind of stained glass window and other decorations in windows for Christmas. And a lot of them use OpenStreetMap. Let's name and shame King's Church for not putting the attribution on there. But others, such as the local parish church of Belmont, made a lovely map. Apart from it looks really bad because the buildings were missing. And there's some others. Some have used Google Maps, which is illegal because they don't have the right to distribute that as a leaflet. But yeah, so I eventually, with Belmont, I decided this wasn't good, and I'd just drawn in a load of houses. The buildings like so, just so it looks a bit better if anyone uses OpenStreetMap for a map again. But it has inspired me to do some house numbering. Done there already. I think that was a few years ago actually. I've done other bits. Round here the other week I did some of Kirkstone Drive and Grange Road. But let's see how I do it. First of all, I go out and I'll show you some pictures here as well. So I'll go out. My main tool is KeypadMapper. Makes it super simple for collecting lots of house numbers. There's not much to talk about with surveying the house numbers, or to show anyway. It's easier if you look at the screenshots of KeypadMapper. Quite simple really. Big buttons. Type in the number I see on the left, tap left. Type in the number I see on the right, tap right. And it records it really easily. And creates a file that I'll show you to upload. But yeah, it's just quick to get on typing in all the numbers. And then once that's done, I'll get home. I've got my phone synced up. I'm using an app called Folder Sync, which means I could show if I show you the right app. So when I've got a load of settings on there, you won't see this clearly unless I take a screenshot. But I've got settings that just let's save that screenshot. Got settings so that the file from KeypadMapper uploads to my computer over Wi-Fi, using Dropbox in this case, but your phone might have its own syncing options. And then I load up json, so you want to see my computer screen. And what it does is, so if I hide all these layers that I've opened, KeypadMapper basically generates a file from that, from me typing in those addresses. it generates a .osm file which can be opened in json, and I could go upload that to OpenStreetMap really quickly. It also loads, it loads this, it saves the GPX file, so that's where I walked. You can see I crossed the road a few times and went backwards and forwards trying to make a obvious line. But I also put OSM and running. If I change the color of that, OSM and, it's about the same. I have found OSM and tends to have more precision. Yeah, I'm not about the same really, actually. I think OSM and records a bit sooner, if I've got that wrong. Maybe KeypadMapper's better. Android's a bit funny with its recording. I think it depends which app I'm looking at. So along here I was looking at KeypadMapper more. Yeah, you see there I was then finished the house numbers and OSM and started recording, whereas KeypadMapper kind of just jumped until I went back to the app, did some more house numbers. But anyway, it gives us lots of detail. So what I'll do here is I'll just load up the imagery, so open Bing to give some context, and then we'll start here. I'll go to download, and just there, download OpenStreetMap data. Raw GPS to see where others have gone isn't important in this case, but also the notes. And that downloads. So it downloads it onto the same layer, which is helpful. But if I hide that, you can see we've also got the A1 there. Of course, has lots of GPS traces. Might just hide that so it doesn't confuse us. And then I pay attention to where I start. Also, I'll import the images. I also take some photos for various reasons, the road signs or things I see. So yeah, there's some I've already mapped, but this is where I went, and Bing imagery is out of sync. It's reminding me there, so we'll just put that on there. So I just while I was doing that, just left click to drag it into place, mainly looking at this corner here, but that side of the radar is correct as well, and that saves it like that. That means when I drew these houses, I think I might be slight about a place, and I can just move the house numbers over to the area, roughly towards the front of the house. KeypadMapper has letters as well. I kind of use it as a shorthand. So when I put the I, actually got into the habit of using I to say that I couldn't actually see the house number, but there was a house there, and usually I can work it out from the other numbers. So 44 goes there, 42 there. Then this road needs to line up so it's more in the middle. I think this was probably done from aerial imagery without someone having the GPX trace to align that imagery, because when the satellites take the photos, it's not perfect. And then what I'll do is I'll select these and hold down Control to select them all, and put in the street name, which is Kirkstone Drive. Then on the left, I open the Relationship Manager tab. Make this all a bit smaller. So I've still got all those houses selected, and Kirkstone Drive already has a relation because I did that section a bit. So what I'll do is I'll add all those houses in there so that they can all be grouped together. So if you're looking for the houses on Kirkstone Drive, or if you find number 7, you know it's there and it's going to relate to one of those roads. There's been other methods that I have varied, sort of this terrace along here. I've drawn them up, and I've put the tags on the actual outline of the building. I think that's taking a bit too long and it's not as valuable as it used to be, so this is the quicker way with the aid of KeypadMapper, especially if I've already drawn those building outlines. Oh, that was a garage. That's a big garage. What I can actually do is change the tag to there. It'll help. People will hopefully know that that's not 93 or an extra house that needs surveying. And I think some maps illustrate those a bit differently. They assume they're only 1 story or floor high. It's always easier to do it from the direction you walked as well. I'll show some screenshots while I do this of KeypadMapper. 71, 69, 67, 65, 63. And I was worried here because I'd already done this bit. I didn't know how far I needed to go. And that's a bit annoying when you're doing house numbers, particularly if you keep going back to similar areas. Both OSM and Maps.me, they've got offline OpenStreetMap data, and it takes them a few weeks, sometimes it seems a few months to update. So I can't actually see the house numbers I did last week. It's a bit annoying. I don't know if any other maps are faster at updating, because it means I miss these 2 out, and that could be quite damaging. Thankfully it's obvious to work out what they are, so I'll just copy that, and that would be 61, and that would be 59, and then 57. But other areas it could be more annoying, or I could maybe miss an offshoot because I think it's already mapped. What's more likely is I might actually go down the same place twice, and that, first of all, I'd have to delete duplicates here before I upload to OpenStreetMap. I'd also have to I'd have to make sure I'm not wasting my time and someone else hasn't done it. It does get time consuming, as I'm out for about 40 minutes doing this. I made sure I got a cup of tea. Normally I put music on. I'll have to dub something with copyright allowance over this. And maybe I'll speed it up for your benefit. So this is one on a slight difference on KeypadMapper is that you have house names as well. So you'll see in the screenshot of KeypadMapper that it's not too difficult. That's simply you just tap onto where the number goes or on the note below, and the keypad of your phone comes up and you can type it in. Although I did get distracted on that one and pressed the wrong number, but took a photo to remind me it's 52 and the name's Ambrose. And it's interesting to see those and get them in there, and that's something that other mapping companies don't get, because they'll mass do this task. They'll try and just do it from computer generated systems, trying to identify the house number from their cars that drive past and say, oh, it's number 52, and miss that it's got a name as well attached to that. So it's all very important to capture that, because they may get posted by Ambrose or want their address known as that. What was also interesting is because of particularly this area, the Christmas window decorations, I'll show some pictures, but it's a trail and the points and the places are numbered, so they've asked people to put a number up so they know that that they found somewhere on the trail the place they're looking for. Did say to some friends we're discussing, and it must be incredibly confusing for the delivery drivers seeing these different numbers that aren't the house numbers, and also for mappers. I did get a bit confused there, but yeah, you kind of figure it out, you know roughly that you're in the right place. Few more here I need to download from OpenStreetMap again to check I'm not doing duplicates. Okay, that's that section done, and it's good to do house numbers as well, and to be doing them actually going and observing them. I'm always looking out, does the house have a does the street have a number 13 or not? But you capture little bits such as this bench that I've gone past there lots of times. I've mapped those roads, but I missed that bench, so I can add it on, and maybe you'll get other things change, particularly shops or just a little cut through alleyway ginnel thing that you didn't notice before. Now here I had a note because I had previously done these and I was quite confused looking at KeypadMapper. I put in 31 twice. Very confusing, but this one, if I've got the photo here. Maybe I didn't take a photo in it at the end because it was quite far away. But this one actually had two signs on it. So I think I put a note, house number displayed as both 31 and 31A. I think they're just confusing things. And then with that note, I will say confusing signage on 31A, map to correct it. Close that note, and here I'll just do an upload of the OSM notes, and then carry on with my mapping of house numbers. Okay, so that's all done, and then it's upload. There's a couple of warnings. So did I miss things out here? Yep, so then we upload again and it's all good. So we'll put a name as mapping house numbers in Carvel, Belmont. Survey notes, geotags. I also like to, in fact I can see what I put last time. Yeah, that's kind of all the things I did. Tags are, you know, I like to put my survey date in, and 12/18. Unusually, I've been editing this on the same day that I did the mapping, not leaving it for a few weeks and forgetting where I was and the quirks of bits. So upload those changes. I forgot to take a picture of OpenStreetMap before, but I'll show you a picture of what it looks like after I've done the mapping, and you can see there's still more for me to do. Yeah, I need to take some other routes here, but yeah, when it's daylight, and I might also see if I can look at the stats of how many houses I've found without house numbers, because over the years of doing this quite slowly, I have kind of built up some statistical information of houses that do display numbers. Maybe there's some interest in there. Yeah, so last of all, if you've got tips, how long's this taken me? 46 minutes with a bit of talking to you. So went for a 50-minute walk, plus 40 minutes of editing. That's a 1-for-1. If you've got any tips or ideas, if you're a mapper, on how I can speed this up in JOSM, yeah, I'd like to know. Yeah, I don't mind the walking and seeing every house number, but how can I speed it up? Give me your tips.